We start with the ride that never got a second chance. Mason Lowe's final fall. Mason Lowe was only 25, a Missouri cowboy, all heart and hustle, rising fast in the PBR world. He had fans, he had grit, and he had time. Or so everyone thought. But in Denver, 2019, one ride changed everything.
They have. I guess we do it every time we drive down the street, in a sense, but they just have a different mentality that I don't think they...
The bull came down hard, stomped straight onto his chest. At first it looked like just another bad fall. Riders and fans had seen worse. But Mason didn't walk away. He was rushed out of the arena, and by that evening, he was gone. Then came Alvaro Alvarez, who got shut off like a switch. At the 2018 Global Cup, Alvaro Alvarez drew a bull named Take the Gamble. The name fit a little too well. As soon as the gate opened, the gamble ended in blood. Within seconds, the bull's horn smashed straight into Alvarez's head.
Alvarez comes over the... Oh, boy.
It was so violent, the entire arena froze. Thousands of fans, loud one moment, silent the next. Alvarez dropped instantly, no time to react, no time to recover. Medical staff rushed out, treating it like life or death. For a moment, that's exactly what it looked like.
And we saw a couple riders yesterday.
Alvarez eventually came around, but he was badly concussed. Coming up next is McKinnon Wimberly, who got headbutted, not once, but twice. With the crowd on their feet, McKinnon Wimberly took off on a bull called mobandy.com. For him, it was just another ride, but what followed was 2 hard strikes and zero memory of what came next. The first blow came when his head smashed directly into the bull's skull. That was terrible. But before he could even process that, the bull caught him again with another violent slam as he fell. 2 headshots in 5 seconds.
Right there. And then the big hit comes right here.
The impact knocked him out cold. When he woke up, he didn't remember the ride, the fall, or even what happened afterward. On top of that, his jaw was broken. Up next is one bad buck, and Scott Schiffner was out cold. Scott Schiffner was riding at the 2008 World Cup in Nashville. He was seconds away from what could have been a massive score. Everything looked solid until the bull decided to kick things up a notch.
What was going to be a huge score if he'd stayed with him another second. And he's got Gold Bell wine. And he is out.
The buck was harder than expected, and Schiffner lost his balance. He slammed into the dirt head first, and that was all it took. No horn, no hoof, just the ground itself. And it was enough to knock him out cold. The arena went quiet, and as fans watched him lie motionless, medics rushed in, checking for signs of movement.
Scott Schiffner being taken out of the arena, and as you can hear, the crowd cheering J-Dub.
It was a harsh reminder that sometimes the bull doesn't have to do anything extra. The dirt can be just as dangerous. For then there's Jess Lockwood, held together by braces, but still riding like a beast. By 2019, Jess Lockwood looked finished. Torn hamstring, busted collarbone, injuries stacked up like broken promises. At just 22, people were already writing him off, but Jess didn't care what the critics said. He showed up to the finals bandaged, bruised, and still swinging.
One of those big rolls of the dice for Team USA Eagles. And wild.
Taped together like a patchwork cowboy, and he didn't just ride, he dominated, won his second world title. The last bull, he stayed on, then climbed off with a heavy chest and full eyes.
Wild Goose continues a very impressive record on his length.
His parents were right there. He hugged them tight, holding back tears that almost spilled over. He later admitted he thought he wouldn't even make it through the weekend, but he did more than survive. He proved every doubter wrong, and deep down, he proved something to himself too. That's what made it hit so hard. You think that's tough? Chris Shivers rode straight into retirement and tipped his hat anyway. Chris Shivers didn't go out in a blaze of glory. He got bucked hard, dragged and slammed like a crash test dummy around the arena. It was messy, painful to watch even. But then he stood up, dusted off, and tipped his hat. And suddenly, none of that ride mattered. The crowd wasn't cheering for those 8 seconds. They were cheering for everything he gave to the sport. The shattered bones, the bloodied skin, the championships, the rides that made people fall in love with bull riding in the first place.
SmackDown says there will be no Hollywood ending for you, Chris Shivers, but I give you my respect.
He wasn't just a name on a stat sheet, he was the guy, the one who made it look easy, when it wasn't. That final moment wasn't cinematic, but it was real, a quiet end to a loud legacy, the kind of farewell that sticks with you long after the gates close. You felt it in your chest. Then there's Kiki Pacheco riding on one good leg and pure grit. Kiki Pacheco tore his MCL, the ligament that basically holds your knee together, and not in some minor way. He could barely walk.
Wait for something to happen. He's very sharp.
Stay down, buddy.
Any other athlete would have been benched for months, but Kiki, he wasn't wired like that. In 2018, he climbed back on those bulls like his leg wasn't screaming with every move. You could see the limp, you could see the pain in his face, but you could also see the fire in his eyes. Ride after ride, he held on, 8 seconds at a time.
Should be no difference.
People win titles, but Kiki earned this one. He didn't ask for sympathy, didn't try to milk the moment. No drama, no excuses, just straight up toughness. When the final scores came in and he stood there as the new world champion, he didn't break down, he didn't have to. The crowd did it for him. Respect doesn't always come with tears. Sometimes it comes with grit. Then there's Chase Outlaw, who didn't just get knocked down, he got his whole face shattered and rebuilt. Chase Outlaw walked into Cheyenne Frontier Days in 2018 with swagger. He looked ready, confident. The gate swung open, and seconds later, disaster hit.
On the climb, and it could start right here. Ooh.
A head-on collision with the bull didn't just knock him down, it blew his face apart.
Colby, there's nothing in the world that compares to a shot like that.
No, absolutely not.
Literally, Outlaw's injuries were so severe just that doctors had to rebuild his face using 68 screws, 12 plates, and 4 surgical meshes. It was like putting a puzzle back together, only this puzzle was a man's skull.
Wow. Chase out.
Most people would have called it quits right there. Not Outlaw. He came back, scarred, but unbroken. Saying quitting was never an option.
Welcome back, Chase.
68 screws and 11 plates in his face.
Fans couldn't believe it. His toughness turned him into something bigger than a rider. He became proof that cowboys don't just fall, they rise again. If you thought Chase Outlaw had it bad, wait until you hear what happened to Casey Hayes. Casey Hayes knew. Panda Tracks wasn't a bull you underestimated. The bull had a reputation for sky-high vertical kicks that made even pros nervous. As soon as the chute opened, Panda Tracks lived up to the hype, launching Hayes straight into the air like a rag doll.
0.9. Panda Tracks a little on the mean side. Hey! He's out.
He slammed into the dirt hard, but the wreck wasn't finished. The bull came down with a hoof that crushed straight into his face. The sound of bones cracking was so loud his parents heard it from the stands. Hayes later admitted he heard it too, and that sound haunted him. The arena fell silent, the kind of silence that comes when everyone realizes they've just witnessed something awful. It wasn't just another wreck, it was a reminder of how unforgiving bull riding really is. Hayes got stomped, but Jenkins, he got stuck, spun, and kicked into the dirt. LJ Jenkins had been on a roll, strong rides, good scores, and the kind of confidence you carry when things are clicking.
Jenkins in the chutes, the New Mexico native.
Then came Fully Loaded. The chute opened. The bull came out swinging, and almost instantly, the nightmare happened. Jenkins's hand got caught in the rope. That's the one thing every rider dreads, because once you're hung up, you're not in control anymore. Fully Loaded bucked hard and spinning and dragging Jenkins across the dirt on like a dead weight. While he was down, the bull didn't stop. He took kicks to the stomach, to the arm, and who knows where else.
See it here with the clock. I think it's clearly a buck off, but watch this get cranked around now as we keep rolling this forward.
When it was over, doctors confirmed his arm was fractured, but it could have been so much worse. Jenkins kept it simple afterward. He just said he got unlucky. That's bull riding. Only a cowboy could talk that casually about getting beaten half to death. But it's what happened next that cracked the coldest cowboy. Silvano Alves finally let it out. Silvano Alves built a reputation on being unshakable. He was the machine. No celebrations, no trash talk, no tears, just business. Coming from Brazil with no sponsors and barely any gear, he didn't have much, but he had drive, and it pushed him to 3 PBR World Championships.
And it is official. It's a no score for Silvano Alves.
In 2014, when he clinched his 3rd buckle, the man who never flinched finally cracked. Not from the ride, but from everything it took to get there. Carried on the shoulders of fellow riders, gold buckle in hand, his face dropped, and for once, he let it all out. He cried.
Unfortunate aspects that this sport can affect on a rider, and Ty, I've been around.
The crowd had never seen him like that. It wasn't a show. It was years of sacrifice, leaving home, grinding with no backup plan. That moment showed fans the cost of greatness. He didn't need to say a word. His tears told the whole story. Then there's Douglas Duncan, who got spun like crazy by Chicken Fried. Douglas Duncan's wreck might be one of the strangest looking in bull riding history. He was riding a bull called Chicken Fried when things went sideways fast. Instead of a clean buck off, Duncan got hung up in the rope.
And he really needed that season best in Fresno last week or he was going to get cut.
And then it got ugly. The bull spun so violently that Duncan rotated a full 360 degrees around the bull's body. From the stands, it almost looked unreal, like something out of a cartoon. But this wasn't funny. Spinning like that can tear a rider's shoulders apart, shred ligaments, and cause serious internal injuries. Duncan was being whipped around, and fans said it looked like he was literally being fried alive. Somehow, he managed to walk away afterward, but it was one of those rides people never forget because of how bizarre and terrifying it looked. And just when you think you've seen it all, Lonnie West takes a hit that tears his liver. Lonnie West entered the 2018 PBR World Finals with big hopes. He wasn't just there to compete. He wanted to win it all, but then came hostage, the mighty bull.
All that prep turns into some horrible aftermath.
The bull came out bucking with violent force, slamming straight into West's side. At first, it looked like a tough fall, but the damage went much deeper. The impact left him with a torn liver, one of the most dangerous injuries a rider can face.
It's him back. I mean, this is that bull there. Sometimes you see a bull pull a foot. That one didn't pull a foot at all, and that's
a broken bone heals, but a liver tear is life-threatening. Within seconds, his finals were over. Fans who had been cheering suddenly went quiet, realizing just how close he came to not just ending his career, but his life. For West, that night ended in pain and shock, a reminder that the worst injuries aren't always the ones you can see. Then came the moment nobody expected. Ty Murray, the king, said goodbye on his own terms. Ty Murray didn't leave the sport because of one big wreck. He walked away because he felt it slipping. The drive, the fire, and in bull riding, losing that edge is more dangerous than any bull. They called him the king of the cowboys for a reason. He carried the sport on his back.
And Ty Murray on the high-flying perfect storm conquers the natural disaster.
Fans saw him as bulletproof, but when he stood in front of that crowd for his farewell speech, choking on his own words, everyone saw the man behind the title. No gear, no gate slamming, just honesty. That was the hardest part. He wasn't forced out. He chose to step away, and it made it hit even harder. His 95.5 ride on Red Wolf will live forever. But this goodbye showed more courage than any score ever did. Then came the fall no one saw coming. JB Mooney was finally stopped. Toughness had a poster boy. And it was Mooney. Broken bones, torn ligaments, blood on his face. He still nodded his head and rode like none of it mattered. Pain didn't scare him. Bulls didn't scare him. Quitting, that was never part of the deal, but in Lewiston, Idaho, everything he built came crashing down in seconds. Arctic Assassin threw him hard and left him with a serious neck injury.
That is a no score. That bull.
The doctors didn't sugarcoat it. If he rode again, he might not get back up. At first, he brushed it off. That's just who JB was. But later, with a quiet smirk, he said it straight. I'll go till the wheels fall off. Well, they finally did, the bull that ended his career. He took it home and retired it too. He didn't go out in flames. He went out like a cowboy, stubborn and proud. Then we have the final ride for J.W. Hart, but it ended face down in the dirt. In 2015, J.W. Hart got on a bull named King Buck at the PBR Decatur event. It was supposed to be a celebration, a strong ride, a proud moment, and maybe one last nod to a legendary career.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it. He's there. Yeah, it's on.
But King Buck didn't give him a graceful goodbye. He gave him a knockout. Hart held on like he always did, but right at the end, things went bad, fast. The bull reared back hard, sent Hart off balance, and slammed him straight down on his head.
Yeah.
No time to recover. He was out cold. The arena flipped from cheers to silence in seconds. It was a reminder that even legends can get wrecked. Hart always rode with grit, never backing down. That night, though, the bull reminded everyone why he's called king.